for this process, I'm going to be making my very own green seasoning. So I've started off with adding my extra light tasting olive oil to my blender. If you notice, this time I'm not using my Vitamix. I only use my Vitamix to do things that has to do with like fruits and vegetables, but I use this traditional blender to do things like this, making natural seasoning. So I have my olive oil that's in the blender just now, and then the next step is that I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic. Once I'm through adding the garlic, I go ahead with some dried thyme. Immediately following that, I am going to add me just a little piece of Scotch bonnet pepper. Don't want this to be too spicy. You know, we have to remember, well, in a case I have a thing that I will label it so that I will know that this is the spicy one. I'm going to go ahead, add my bits and pieces of ginger. Look at it coming along nicely. After which I'm going to add, look, my scallion, actually my onion. Just a whole onion. I mean, you can do it based on the quantity that you are about to make. I'm just making for a very small bottle, and so I'm just adding those. All right, after which I'll add in a few grains of pimento berries, and then last and in no way least, I'm going to add the scallion. Now, some persons would not use the tip of the scallion when they're cooking because they figure that it's dried or it looks a little bit withered. Now you'd have found use for it when you're making a green seasoning. Why waste stuff? There's always something to do with all these things, okay? So we're gonna just go ahead and drop this into our blender now. Now, a big thing to remember is that when you're making this, right, you're gonna be pulsing all of this to make the seasoning. You want everything to come together nicely, but most importantly, you need that oil. So in the process, put on that lid. If in the process you recognize that we need some more oil, that's fine. We could go ahead and add that. So what feature am I going to go ahead and use? I am going to use the pulse feature. So let's go. Notice what's happening here in the blender. It's coming together. Still in the process, not yet finished. Look at that green seasoning coming along. So we're going to continue this process until we have a finished product. Boom. There you have it, green seasoning, all natural, no additives, no preservatives, every single thing fresh from the earth. I don't know about people, but this is what I used to cook because of course it gives everything a little bit more depth in terms of the flavor profile. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to throw this in a container that I have. Now, I'm a sucker for reusing containers. Persons should know that about me by now. So I remember having bought a sauce, and of course the sauce was finished. It's a glass jar. So what do? I reuse it, and I've named it green seasoning. Put on my little label. There you go, green seasoning. And now I am just going to go ahead and pour the mixture in the bottle. When I do this, I make some for my family, so I'm going to bottle another one, and that one will go to them. Lovely green seasoning. Right, so there you have it, my green seasoning, and this one is a little bit spicy. You can see it looking really rich and nice. Okay, so guys, just in case you don't want to make this on your own, you can send me a DM. I'll make some for you, and then I'll just sell it to you for a small little price. Okay, but you can follow my instructions and make your own green seasoning. Let me know how it turns out. Comment down below. Once you have made your green seasoning, remember your pimento is in there, and pimento is excellent for preservation. So of course you're going to pop this in your refrigerator, and it can last you anywhere from a month to 2 because it has that olive oil, and again it has that pimento in it. So every single time you're going to be cooking, you want to season up that meat, you go ahead, you draw off a little bit of green seasoning, especially if it is that you're going to marinate. That way you are adding tons of additional flavor to your meat kind.